This is Sandra Swan with Sandra Swan Star Power, and we'd love to shine the light on people who are reflecting Christ in the marketplace, in the culture, and who really do outstanding work. And I just was so impressed with Kathleen. We met at NRB convention, and she is part of, well, actually one of the founders of Cooke Media Group. She has an incredible resume. She's been in Hollywood. She's been a true star out there in movie land, TV land. But I'm going to read her bio and just introduce you to this remarkable woman. She is mentoring women all over the world through Influence Lab and the Influence Women organization. She has 7 chapters and she's looking for new leaders across the country. She's been in Hollywood and she's a SAG actress as well, and she's received numerous awards. She's a producer and actress, a global speaker. She's written a book. I love your devotional book. We'll have to get a copy of that one. Hope for Today, Stay Connected to God in a Distracted Culture, which is what we have for sure. So you're mentoring people and women in film, television, music, and how to use the media to change the culture. So I'd love for you to share your story with our audience and tell them how you got started on this wonderful entrepreneurial venture.
Well, thanks again, Sandra, for having me today. It's always fun to be here and to share my story and a little bit about the work that we're doing, and just lifting up the Lord name of Jesus, really, and all
And
we
you
do.
do that so well. I love your countenance just reflects the Lord in all that you do. I've just been impressed with the opportunities He's given you to take that light and shine it into worldwide opportunities. So you're getting ready to go back to what, London, I think?
Yes, so my husband and I own Cook Media Group. Cook has an E on the end, so I'm
Right.
Cookie.
Okay.
So if people are trying to find me, Kathleen with a K. And we have a for-profit business production company, Cook Media Group, and we've shot and produced and consulted and spoken and taught in about 60 countries around the world over the
Wow.
few years. And I'm privileged to be a part of a organization that came out of that our production company, the Influence Lab. And our
Okay.
mandate with Influence Lab is to help Christians use media effectively to tell their stories and ask questions and produce media that can affect our culture and change what we're seeing in our screens. And so that's my journey. I everybody asks how I got into the industry, and I tell everybody I started with an outdoor trash can when I was a little girl. My mother would fill with costumes so that I could create my own plays and produce my own little things, events and things in the backyard. And she even had Victorian Barbie doll clothes made for me so I could reenact, various classic movies and books and things like that I wanted to, or create my own
So you
stories.
had to start as a young lady.
So I think that, yeah, God had that passion within me from the very beginning, I think. And so my husband and I met in college at Oral Roberts University and went on to move to Hollywood in 1991 and begin our production company there. And God's blessed us with that. Out of Influence Lab, the Influence Lab, which is influencelab.com,
Okay.
came my initiative, Influence Women, which focuses on women working in media, entertainment, arts, music, and leadership, and helping them use media again effectively to
Mm,
tell their stories, produce their shows, support each other.
yes.
And
Don't we all need that?
we do, and it's a challenging business. And I understood from an acting point of view. I was a Screen Actors Guild actor, still am for many, many years, and I know the challenges it is. I've worked in production company and on sets and in front of sets and back sets, and and uh, and I know there are so many challenges that women face. And so my heart is to empower those women and get them out there so that we can change again the content we're seeing in our screens. You know, Sandra, as AI comes into our world more and more. We know that what it's fed has to only give back what it can be, what is fed, what it's fed. And so women and men both in producing content is so important today. We've
Hmm.
got to have men and women producing the content so that when we put in that information, we put in that content, it's going to spew back the right things. It's going to spew out God's wisdom and truth and
Hmm.
things that are good and pure and
Yes,
not the junk that we're getting it indoctrinated it with these days. So
that's so
that's my
true.
passion. That's what we're doing. We do have Influence Women has grown. We have actually 8 chapter groups now.
Oh, congratulations.
We launched our 8th group just this month, and
Okay.
that's an online group. So that focuses on women around the world because of my travels and my work. I have so many women saying, I want to be a part of Influence Women. And so we designated a online chapter direct
Mm,
just for our women who are around the world and want to be a part of Influence Women. Or if you're in a city where we are not presently located, we may be coming to one near you soon. That you can be a part of a chapter group and ask questions and tell your stories or tell us what you're doing. If you've produced a book, if you produced a movie, or you're going to be in a movie, a drama presentation of some kind,
hmm.
or maybe you've just put out a music album or something. This is a place where we can connect to be able to collaborate to create for Christ. And I
I
call
love
it the
it.
4 C's.
I love that, collaborating for Christ. So it,
Yes, yes. So that's just a little bit about what I'm doing. And then you asked about where I'm going. Well, I'm heading to London in a week for the second year in a row. I've been invited to be a part of a select group of leaders who are coming
mm,
together to speak and come together at Windsor Castle. And we actually have one of the royals coming as well to be a
oh,
part of the
that's,
event.
oh, wow.
I'll be
Exciting.
teaching on media and how we can again populate our screens, create creative content that can resonate and change our culture. And so I'm excited to be a part of that coming up.
That's a wonderful opportunity. Oh, wow. So do you post photos and videos of all these opportunities? Do you have training out there for
Yes,
women?
absolutely. If you
Okay.
go to influencewomen.org,
Okay.
again, you can become a member. It's free. And I'll laughingly say, Sandra, if you own a cell phone and have a social media account, you're in media. And I'd love to have you a part of that group. But we do have a lot of professionals that are part of that. And we
Mm,
produce monthly webinars, the Influence Women webinar, as well as the Influence Women podcast. And those can all be gotten on our YouTube channel, the Influence Women YouTube channel.
okay.
You can check that out. When you become a member of Influence Women, you get a weekly journal, and that focuses on some encouragement, on some information, an interview with some professional woman every month.
Mm,
And it tells you about all the events that are happening in our 7 local USA chapter groups, and then, of course, our new online chapter group as well.
awesome. Awesome. Well, this is going to be a great resource, especially to the audience of people that I'm reaching, because many of them have been in media, but they don't have the tools or the connections to move beyond their current setting, whether they're in television or radio and film. So you're touching all those entertainment
Yes, Sandra. I mean, we'll
groups.
do everything from how do you audition online? How do you produce a film? How do you
Hmm.
write a book? How do you find distribution for your book or your film? And then we also carve into because I believe in the whole woman, a body, a mind, and a spirit. And
Yes.
we'll pull in some coaching aspects,
Okay.
leadership aspects, and how to overcome some of the things in your past that may be holding you back in your career, how to
Hmm.
physically be healthy. We've done some health programs as well, simply because we have to be healthy in order to do our job.
That's right.
And so we try to hit all those areas, but mainly just how do we function as men and women, and mainly for us women, uh, how do we cut through all the clutter that's out there and navigate the industry? And our passion is to help those who are working toward those goals and help to empower them and grow their skills and educate them as well.
Well, it's a great mission, and I know that people who I met actually at NRB convention, and then some of my local colleagues here would really appreciate that kind of mentoring and help because you can't find it too much unless it's in the secular marketplace. So, um,
And it's so true, Sandra. So more often when we have women coming to our events, they say, "Oh, I thought I was in this by myself."
mm,
No, I feel like I'm pushing a rock up the hill by myself. And
that's
and so we say, no, we're here for you.
awesome.
There are others here who are willing to stand beside you, to give you information, to sit and pray with you, and just be a friend sometimes that wants to listen. And we need people just to listen and understand sometimes, and just and be with us. And
Yes.
it's
Yeah,
it's
that
a it's
fellowship is
a hard
it
world out
it
there.
is. It's a tough world. So, yeah, to know that you've got Christian support and prayer support as well. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, and then connecting you with all of these other entertainment networks across the country is just remarkable that you've done so much. You also wrote a book. Tell us a little bit about your devotional book and how we can get a hold of that.
Oh, I'd love to tell you about my devotional. It's based on a 4-day format because it's based on the habits and activities of Christians and what we do that actually changes our lives, and
Mm,
that people can actually see a change in our lives. And I based it off research that was done by a group um, who did an 8-year $1 million study on the habits and activities of us as Christians, how often we
mm.
went to church, read our Bible, listened to podcasts like this, prayed, listened to Christian music, all these things we do that are helpful
Hmm.
to us, and we need to be doing them. But what's that one thing that really changes us, that really
Mm,
makes a difference in our life? And they found that the single most important thing is Bible reading. Bible engagement, and that when you are engaged in the Bible 4 or more times a week, it will dramatically change the direction of your life. In
mm.
fact, they found that if you're only reading 1 to 3 times a week, you'll
Hmm.
make no significant choices or changes, much
Oh my
different
goodness.
than
Huh.
one who never reads the Bible. And they found that when you're reading the Bible, drug and alcohol usage fell by 70%.
That's
Anger,
incredible.
bitterness falls by 40%. I tell
Wow.
women even obesity falls by 20% when you're reading the Bible.
That's
And so
astounding.
often we say, well, why aren't people reading the Bible? Well, we're busy. We're
Yeah.
distracted with that little square rectangular thing that's in our hand called our phone all the time.
Hmm.
And we're distracted by our screens.
Yeah.
And so I'm encouraging you and challenging your listeners to try it. Try dedicating a whole month reading your Bible 4 or more times a week and see the changes it's going to make in your life. And the book is called Hope, the number 4, Hope for Today.
Hmm.
Stay connected to God in a distracted culture. And they can get it through our Influence Lab
Okay.
website, influencewomen.org again, or on my blog at kathleencooke.com. And again, Cook has an E on the end, and I'm a Kathleen with a K.
Okay. I love it. I love it. Well, you've really got the media outlets. People can reach out and find out what you're doing and get involved. So I'm gonna make sure that we spread the word about your organization. And are you looking for particular cities to
We
launch?
are. We're presently in Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, Baton Rouge. Hollywood is our big mothership there. And then down in the Orange County of California, we have another one. Um, and Dallas, let's see, what did I mention? Nashville here.
Nashville.
And is one. And so we are looking to probably start another one in Shreveport, Louisiana, and maybe in Colorado Springs this next year. So would love to have one in some of the other major cities, Chicago, New York, down in Florida. We need you. So in Washington, D.C., yes, come on.
Well, maybe I'll step up to the plate and help you out there.
So yes, we're just expanding, and God's expanding our tent, I say, and we believe, though, it's so important. Women and men as well are seriously needed in our media and entertainment music industry. We
Mm,
need to populate our screens with good stuff, with the stuff, with biblical wisdom and a biblical worldview, and
yeah.
so I believe the way that we're going to change our culture is going to be through creative, biblically based content, and that's going to change our culture and our world.
It is. I love your tagline, empowering Christian women and men globally to influence media and culture.
Right.
And you all have just done an incredible job. I subscribe to your newsletter from both Cook Media Group, and I'm going to start reading Interview, which is your journal.
Yes. Yes.
And
So once a month, we put in what I call an interview, an
I like that.
INNERVIEW, an interview with a woman who has been successful in the industry and wants to share a little wisdom on her and her journey along with us and
Yeah.
little
Now, if she
inspiration.
hasn't written a book, she can still write an article for your magazine, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Online magazine, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Yep.
Well, I just appreciate you sharing all this information with us today. And if there's another way that people can reach you, I know you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You've got several websites as well, and I know you mentioned Influence Lab and Influence Women and Cook Media Group. Now,
Yep.
Influence Women is .org,
Right.
OG, uh,
And the Influence Lab is a .com.
.com. Okay,
Yes. Yes. And then we're at Influence Women Global on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And
okay,
then each of our chapter groups have their Instagram as well. So if you're in Hollywood, it's at Influence Hollywood and at Influence Women Atlanta, all of those cities. So if you go on our website at influencewomen.org, again, you'll see all the community groups. Once you become
okay.
a member there, you can join a community group there and get connected with our local chapter directors as
Well,
well.
that sounds like a wonderful opportunity. Do you have events in those cities where you meet in person or um,
Yes. Yes,
oh,
we do. Yes, we have events all the time in these cities, and those will be posted again on that website
okay,
and on our social media. And so we have large professional events a couple times a year in each of those cities, as well as what I call Inspire events. INSPIRE, our Inspire events are small gatherings that build your relationships. It's a collaborative business, and but
yes.
relationships matter. And so we want to be able to connect women together so they can collaborate to create price.
I love it. I love it. I think that's wonderful. Well, I think you've answered all of our questions today, and you shared a little bit about your Christian testimony. I think how you came to the Lord. Did we mention that?
Well, we haven't, but I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. My father was recruited to be the first basketball coach in 1949.
Wow.
Bugsy Siegel had built his first casino in 47, and Vegas literally went from a watering hole to a city. And they
Mm.
needed to build schools and city government, and my father was recruited to come over. There were 2,000 people at the time when they lived there. And of course, it's grown. When I graduated high school, back in the 70s. I'm a little bit older. There were four high schools at the time. Now there are 52, from what I understand.
Boy, it has grown.
So it's a mini LA
It
basically
is, yeah.
these days. But God did some great things. I was raised in a great Christian family, and the Lord just really has had His hand on me all my life. But Sandra, I saw what went on behind the bright lights
Mm,
of the Strip
yeah.
on the Las Vegas
Boy,
Strip.
that's in the news quite a bit now, isn't it? Oh,
Yes, I saw that the tragedies that happened, and men and women coming there desperate to make it and to find their fame and fortune. And I think God prepared me as a child, seeing all that, so that when I worked and lived in Hollywood for many, many years, um, that I was able to actually understand and have a empathy for those who are coming into Hollywood and struggling as that they do. And that propelled me again to start what we're doing with the Influence Lab and Influence Women
mm.
because of the
God
struggling
gave you a mission right there,
from
didn't
the
it?
very beginning, from
Very
the
beginning. Yeah,
with a
awesome.
trash can full of costumes as well.
Well, I think that's a wonderful way for God to commission you. You know, he starts young and starts telling you and giving you guidance, and it's just
I truly believe that too. And I think
yeah,
parents need to be paying attention to how their kids are playing. What are they playing?
yes,
What are they into? Because that's kind of a little bit. I think God does put a little bit of what He wants us to do as adults into us as children and develop us and give us a vision and build our skills and talents. Those are things that I think parents should be paying attention to and developing and allow their kids to have that. And I was very privileged again to have a mom who saw some of that in me and said, "Hey, let's fill up a trash can and put some costumes in there and send you in the backyard. You can, create to your heart's content back there. Leave
that's
me alone
beautiful.
because
What
you're
a
driving me
great
crazy in the
story.
house."
I love it. What a great story.
So
Uh, because as a child, you've got so much imagination and creativity,
true.
and she gave you a way to express that. So, yeah, he definitely was grooming you. The Lord was for this particular mission that he's given you, and you've been one of his bright and shining stars for
Oh,
sure.
well,
You're
thank you.
reflecting his light everywhere you go. It's exciting to see globally where you all have traveled. Did we mention all the places you've been all over the world, mentoring people in the media industry to reflect Christian values?
Yes, we've been all over. I've just gotten back from Ireland and the UK as well, and I was in Athens just a month ago, and getting ready to go to Fiji in a few months, and back to Toronto, Canada in the fall. So it just on and on and on. God sends us where He wants us to speak and teach, and
Yes.
that's the mission really of the Influence Lab is to
Hmm.
um, help Christians around the world be able to create where they are, to train those boots on the ground there,
Hmm.
because we believe that those men and women working in those countries have an insight and a sensitivity to the culture and the needs of their particular community and
So
their
true.
particular country. And we need to be developing them there. And
Yeah.
they need education, they need inspiration. And so that's our mission with the Influence Lab is for us to take groups of professionals there. We in August of this last year, we took 5 professionals to Ghana, Africa, where
Oh,
we spoke to over 300 Africans coming together. I taught theatrical acting. We got a producer to come in to talk about producing, and a director and a social media and expert, as well as a writer talking about script writing. And
exciting. Wow.
so that's really important. And each of those Africans coming came from a different country, a
Hmm.
different place. And that whole adage of you can give somebody a fish, but teach them how to fish, and
That's
fill up
right.
the sea with
Yeah.
God's blessings and His wisdom and knowledge. So that's what we want to do.
Well, you've done a great job, and I actually failed to mention something that was in your bio, which is is part of what you're doing, and you were an associate professor at Biola.
Yes, I
And
worked for many years at Biola University and then a few years with Asbury University as well, and
oh,
ready to be work with Oral Roberts University in the fall as well on their national board, so on their advisory board. So
that's wonderful. What
yeah, I
you're a
love
teacher,
teaching.
mentor, yeah,
Yes, it's this
actress.
next generation. We got to be there for them. We got to be.
Absolutely. You're really touching a lot of the generations, from the youngest all the way to those who are instructing and teaching and, influencing them for the Lord. So thank you. This has just been incredible opportunity to find out more about your organization, and I'm glad to refer people to you. And I hope that we can get a chapter going here in DC
I
eventually.
hope so too. I'd love that. I'd love to have a chapter in DC. You know, we're such an important and vibrant, influential place, and so we'd love to have a chapter group going in DC. And
Well, I'm not in DC. I'm in Virginia, but we always call
close
it
enough.
the DC metro area.
Yeah,
So it
yeah,
covers, a lot of the events that I've done in previous years. I've been in radio broadcasting and some other media as well. But people usually live out in the suburbs and then they come
hmm
into DC because that's where all the activity seems to happen. So
yeah. It's the
this will
hub.
be
That's the hub.
yeah, it is a hub, that's for sure. Well, thank you, Kathleen, and
Oh, thanks for having me.
appreciate you taking the time today. And have a wonderful trip. And we'll look forward to hearing more about it on.
Yes, well, join us at influencewomen.org or the influencelab.com. We'd love to have more people come join in, and we've got to get these men and women involved in media. So thanks for all you do,
Absolutely.
Sandra, in the work that you're doing and for this
Yeah.
beautiful podcast.
Well, thank you for taking the time. You've got a busy schedule, so appreciate you putting aside a little bit of time to give us some insights and inspire people to, not give up on their dreams because God obviously brought your dream to fruition and gave you the skills, the talents, the abilities, and the connections to make it all happen. So, yeah, the Lord has really done an amazing work with your life. So
We
you
give
are
it
one of
all
his
back to
bright and
him.
shining stars out there in Hollywood. Actually, now in Tennessee, right, Franklin?
Yes, yes, we opened a second office. We still have offices with Cook Media Group in LA, but we have a
Okay.
second one now. There's so much going on here in the Nashville area.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's
and
singing, isn't it? Lots of
lots of music here. It has been for many years, but it's drawn a lot of creatives, and we have a lot of film and television work
oh
going on now
wow.
here. So it's pretty
Okay.
cool. Yeah, it's going on all over. Atlanta is a big hub now, and
Uh-huh.
Dallas has certainly been one. And so we're excited to see how God is spreading us all out
He
and
really is.
sharing who He is with more and more people.
I love it. Well, thank you. You're his evangelist in an incredible, challenging um, media and entertainment. That's quite a field to reach out and transform values for sure because people don't seem to understand that there's another way to live the life and to reflect his glory in such beautiful ways that you and your husband Phil are doing. So thank you again. Appreciate you
Blessing.
talking to us today.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.